shaggy. It's rocky. It's Joshua Tree.
How we got here is less important than why we are wandering now.
The previous episode described the changing autumn leaves of New England. We were reminded that nature provides us a metaphor for understanding our own lives as we change over time. Exploration is the action of traveling through unfamiliar areas in order to learn. Discovery is the action of finding something unexpected in the course of exploration. Our goal was to travel to Joshua Tree National Park and explore remote natural settings in the vast expanses of the American West. Along the way, we discovered what makes the West such a unique place in our country, and how the public lands of the West are some of America's greatest national treasures. As we left Massachusetts, we arranged for a quick stop in Ohio to get into the winter holiday spirit with Maddie and Will. Continuing west, we drove to St. Louis, Missouri to see the famous Gateway Arch National Park. Built in 1965, the stainless steel arch was a marvel of modern engineering. It was designed to symbolize the role that St. Louis played in the westward expansion. The visitor center below the arch explains the history of the westward expansion. From 1803 to 1846, the United States tripled in size, and St. Louis served as the gateway to all the major routes heading west, from the Oregon Trail to the Pony Express. The ride to the 630-foot peak gives passengers an unparalleled view east and west. As I stood inside the vertex of the parabolic arch, I thought about how our country is divided. I'm not talking about a political division or an economic division, but the profound geographic division in our country between East and West. Looking at climate, we can easily see a line that separates the humid East from the arid West. Looking at U.S. Census data, we can easily see a line that separates 80% of the population in the East from the 20% of the population in the West. Looking at the amount of land owned by the federal government, there is a line that separates eastern states that have less than 5% federal land from western states that have over 50% federal land. And so we continued our own personal westward movement into the arid plains, where there are fewer people and wide open vistas, and where the great public lands were beckoning us. We arrived in the Denver area, where Lara's family lives. We enjoyed small doses of nature in city and regional parks. It was Christmas time, so we enjoyed other traditional holiday activities like the outdoor Christmas market, the Botanical Gardens Holiday Lights Show, gingerbread house making, time visiting family and friends, skiing, and axe throwing? We then got a deeper dive of nature with a day of Nordic skiing. After the holidays, we headed south, seeking respite from Denver's cold. We flee from the polar vortex bomb cyclone and head towards southern Arizona. We camp in the Coronado Mountains and enjoy warm days in the winter months. The wanderers have once again found quietude in nature, solitude in public lands, and restful hours in an unscheduled afternoon. Time slows down, so true reflection may begin with listening to the grasses blowing at the foot of Mesa de la Osa. The Coronado National Forest is operated by the National Forest Service under the Department of Agriculture. The National Forest Service manages 193 million acres, which is over 8% of our country's land. As we headed west towards Joshua Tree, we explored the Sonoran Desert National Monument. This national monument is operated by the Bureau of Land Management under the Department of the Interior. The BLM manages 248 million acres, which is over 10% of our country's land. Finally, we reached Joshua Tree National Park. Time again for some painting and poetry. Desert Solitaire. The object of the game is to experience a sense of awe. It is played in a desert landscape with minimal shelter, basic equipment, and maximum time. The game is played with a small number of people or alone. Taking turns is encouraged, as is silence. Players must use all senses. It is possible for more than one player to win. In fact, it is encouraged. The game may last as long as possible and may be repeated for a lifetime. This national park is operated by the National Park Service under the Department of the Interior. The National Park Service manages 84 million acres, which is almost 4% of our country's land.
We are here at Jumbo Rocks Campground in Joshua Tree National Park, Southern California, in the middle of January, where the highs are in the 40s and the lows are in the 30s. We're on dawn patrol, going out for a hike to see Skull Rock.
national parks not only preserve nature, but also examples of our cultural heritage. By scheduling a tour with a park ranger, one can visit Desert Queen Ranch and get a sense of what life would have been like homesteading in Joshua Tree in the mid-1900s.
So he talked about how when he grew up here, he really wanted to help his dad go.
Joshua Tree also has some fantastic off-road challenges like Burdu Canyon. Take their cautions seriously. This road is not for any vehicle. But Pepper sure had a good time.
Four-wheeling Burdu Canyon is an awesome experience. A day filled with great obstacles and cool trails.
In this episode alone, we have explored public lands that are managed by a variety of agencies, from local parks to federal agencies. In addition to our national parks and national forests, our federal public land designations include national recreation areas, national conservation areas, national scenic trails, national monuments, wild and scenic rivers, wilderness areas, and more. With 4 federal agencies managing this variety of land designations, our country has a complex mosaic of land management. Each of these agencies manages millions of acres, and state and local land management adds even more. Altogether, nearly 40% of all land in America is owned by the U.S. government. These various public lands provide unlimited opportunities for adventure, exploration, and discovery. And they are all held in trust for you and future generations. American citizens own these public lands, and the vast majority of them are in the West. Public lands are an international initiative. Currently, about 17% of the planet's lands and roughly 8% of its oceans are protected. Through the United Nations Biodiversity Conference, a global effort is underway to preserve and protect 30% of the planet's land and water by the year 2030. 190 countries have officially signed on to this 30 by 30 agreement, and we hope America will join someday soon. Our goal was to explore Joshua Tree National Park and discover the greatness of the American West. While exploration is about seeing new places, Discovery is about being changed by new places. The public lands of the American West have changed not only our understanding of our own country, but also the necessary role that preservation plays for our planet. If exploration and discovery foster a lifestyle of personal growth, then we are committed to wandering now.
Past the high road, it's all over. Can we go back to what we found? We're together, never better. Can we find the peace in what we drown? I know that it won't be easy, and finding ground can be real hard. But if we get through this one thing, I know we'll be fine.
What are you doing?
Watching a very dirty cover.
Past the high road, it's all over. Can we go back to what we found? We're together, never better. Can we find the peace in what we drown? I know that it won't be easy, and finding ground can be real hard. But if we get through this one thing,